message of what he was saying for me resounds true, because the people I had in my ear at the time were not for that.
Let me ask you this, because I think that's such a good point. Like, when you're even in that spot where when you're emotional,
Yes.
you're in the pit of your relationship.
Yes.
It's so important to make sure you have people who are pro-marriage, pro-relationship,
100%.
pro your current relationship
100%.
to be able to help, as much as possible,
100%.
make the best decision to keep the marriage going.
Yeah.
When everybody may not have access to that counsel. So let me ask you this. If we can go back, and if I were able somehow to insulate you with a pro-marriage, pro-relationship community, do you think you still would have actually gone through a divorce?
Not at that time.
Look, man, I was not going to respond to this video of my ex that's now gone viral. She is loving it. Congratulations, you went viral again over something else that you said, because you're trying to build up your YouTube page and get your followers up. Listen, man, listen. If you had people in your ear that influenced you into leaving your husband and your 1-year-old child, your innocent 1-year-old child. We both were divorcee kids, grew up in toxic environments, torn in between our old family, new family, stepfather, stepmother. That's a life that we both lived. And you packed up a 1-year-old, put a COVID mask on top of the Ring cameras, and I was literally in an airplane on my way home to fight for my marriage and my family. You're heartless. None of your friends recognize you. This is all about money. If you had friends in your ear, you're lying, you're gaslighting, you're playing. The only person that was in your ear was your mama. Her name is Patricia Randolph. You didn't have people in your ear. The amount of people that was supposedly in your ear, you also had a whole lot of people like Aventer Gray, Taffy Dollar, Creflo Dollar's wife, who married us. You had a whole lot of people in your ear telling you that you're about to do something stupid, impulsive, and y'all are actually not going through anything that would make you want to leave your husband.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Crypto+Passports equals freedom. I'm your host, Ohini Mara. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and definitely leave a comment and share this video so we can attack that YouTube algorithm and grow this channel. And with that, let's get into today's topic. Today we will be discussing Tyrese Gibson exposes Samantha Lee and proves why we should get our passports. So I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the controversy that has just erupted between Tyrese Gibson and Samantha Lee. I'm pretty sure you heard her discussing on a podcast how she was basically regretting leaving her marriage to Tyrese Gibson, and even has information saying that she is willing to reconcile if he wanted to. With that, Tyrese Gibson went to Instagram and he spoke his mind. He stated he did not originally want to say anything about this matter, but he had to say something because she was trying to give the perception that she was counseled by the wrong people and she was influenced and it wasn't her decision to do what she did. He basically went into detail about how she conducted this process and how they ended up in divorce court and how he was on his way home trying to save his marriage to no avail. And I think with this is very important that men look at the situation in the West. Gentlemen, in reality, something is very wrong in the West. It is something very wrong with the dating market, the relationship market, the marriage market. It seems like this society rewards divorce, negative behavior. It seems like it pretty much rewards breaking up families, and it is pretty much not a good idea to invest in relationships, dating, cohabitation in the West. With that, I think Tyrese Gibson's journey is a lesson and a warning to many men who are thinking about relationships. And I think what men should be doing is focusing on getting their passports and getting out of the West and dating in other areas. Now, gentlemen, I'm not going to promise that you're going to have peaches and cream, in other countries. It's going to be a journey as well. But what I can promise you is that in many of these countries in South America, such as Rio de Janeiro, Colombia, Guatemala, anywhere that you're trying to go, even Mexico, take your pick. You will pretty much have the ability to avoid the dangers of Western relationships. There is no child support. There is no alimony in these countries. So when you go to various parts of the motherland, Africa, Akibulan, whatever you call it, when you go to Southeast Asia, gentlemen, you do not have to deal with the issues of the West. There is no alimony. There is no child support. So you don't have to worry about individuals dealing with you just to get the cash and prizes. As a matter of fact, in these countries, relationships are designed and incentivized to stay together. So if a woman has a child with you, her incentive is to stay with you to make sure that you guys successfully raise your family and raise that child, right? Now, don't get me wrong. In other countries, in South America, in the motherland, in Southeast Asia, there are situations where chicks may want to deal with you because they feel like you are wealthy or you have more than them and they're trying to get what they can out of you. But what I can say is, while that does exist, as far as building a family, as far as having children, the incentive is focused on staying with you, not moving away from you. Because there is no cash and prizes for divorce, and there is no cash and prizes for abandonment. There is no cash and prizes for separating the family. I think Tyrese Gibson pretty much delivers this statement clearly in his response to what she is saying. He exposes the fact that while she is trying to play victim and trying to build a following on YouTube, that she pretty much was the individual who broke up the family. So she was incentivized, and that's another thing that we need to talk about. He even says the only person that was in her ear was her mother, because while TD Jakes or TD Jakes' wife was attempting to tell her that you're making a big mistake and not to take this step, her mother had the greater authority and convinced her to leave Tyrese. So as you can see, in the Western world, it pretty much is incentivized that ladies pretty much can leave their men, break up their families, and pretty much send the family structure in disarray. And I think all of this proves that men should get their passports. As you know, we are a group of men that are heavily invested in digital currency, cryptocurrency. And while I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, I can tell you that these are the two things that men must focus on. I think it is time for us to break up with the West. I think it's time for us to walk away from what we know as a toxic situation, relationships, dating, cohabitation, marriage, having children and families in the West is something that is very dangerous to a man. And with that, I think men need to get their passports and they need to travel abroad and they need to experience other cultures. They need to experience other traditions, other women, and understand the difference between the two. Now, there are a lot of individuals that are trying to encourage you to stay in the matrix. There are other individuals that are trying to convince you to stay in this madness. I think while many times in the past, Tyrese has been the butt of a lot of jokes, I do want to commend him for making that response video, because he did not allow her to basically take advantage of a very sensitive time in his life and change the narrative to make it seem like she was a victim in the same manner that he was. She made a conscious decision to split up his family and to break their marriage and dissolute their marriage. So I'm glad that he spoke up for men. And I think that it's very excellent that this man took the time to make people aware, and mostly men, and make them understand that, you know, pretty much investing in the Western world is a mute point. It absolutely has no value. And again, it is very dangerous, because the bottom line is that when these ladies decide that they no longer want to be in a marriage, they have incentive for cash and prizes. We have a lot of states that are dealing with no fault divorce, which means it doesn't matter what she did. It doesn't matter if there is no valid reason for a divorce. She just feels like she wants it, and that happens. And this is why I'm always pushing gentlemen to look and pay attention to traveling abroad, meeting different types of women in different regions of the world, as well as investing in digital currency and just finding that freedom. As you know, the name of this channel is Crypto+Passports equals freedom. So that is what we are promoting, and that's how I feel about this topic. So gentlemen, let me know what you think. Do you think Tyrese was justified in airing the dirty laundry? Do you think that he had a valid point in exposing what actually happened? Do you think that he was sending us a warning and a message to pretty much not invest in the Western world? Do not invest in dating, cohabitating, relationships, marriage, building families here in the Western world. Do you think that was his intent? With that, gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another session. And until next time, take care.